When does a journey begin? For me, when I was younger, it started with reading comic books. Some were left over from my uncle, some I would sneak a read at the local drugstore or tobacco shop. As I grew older, I had a little bit more disposable income, so I started picking up a few here and there whenever I could. As I got to the age that I am now, I was able to actually start looking at eBay and buying a little bit more pricier books. Some days eBay is a success, someday eBay is a failure. These are those stories. Hello YouTube, Jason from Renegade Rants. So, if you watched in the videos, or any of my previous videos, I'm a huge Ghost Rider fan. So, it's officially over. I have finally completed the Volume 2 run of Johnny Blaze as Ghost Rider. And I didn't think I would ever get to this point, but after Terrificon, being able to pick up some of the books a lot cheaper than I thought they would, I spent a lot of time on eBay, as you saw in the previous segment. So I was able to get a lot of these. So Volume 1 is actually considered the Western Ghost Rider, who became known as the Phantom Rider and the Knight Rider. Volume 2 is technically the 70s Johnny Blaze on the motorcycle, and then Volume 3 is Danny Ketch. However, from the 90s. However, Volume 3 and Volume 2 kind of get thrown around on what's what kind of thing. So a lot of times people will list the Danny Ketch run from the 90s as Volume 2 and this is Volume 1. So I'm just going to say this is the Ghost Rider from the 70s. So what did we pick up? We have number 30. And this is Roger McKenzie's story and Ernie Chan on the cover. And this is a key. It's the first appearance of Bounty Hunter. We have number 29. Writer was Roger McKenzie. The key was Rich Buckler. And this is a key. It's the first meeting of Doctor Strange and Ghost Rider. We have number 19. Nice newsy there. Tony Isabella and Gil Kane cover. We have number 11. Tony Isabella, Gil Kane, and Klaus Janson cover. Now number 10, I didn't realize had this much history behind it. But if you look at the cover there, we've got the Hulk and the Ghost Rider, and this was Gary Friedrich and Ron Wilson on the story, but I think there's two stories in this, and one is the reprint of Marvel Spotlight 5. But as you can see, the Hulk appears on the cover. However, he's not in this issue. So Marvel issued in number 11 a letter explaining that Hulk story was not confirmed before the cover was printed on this. So the Hulk's not in this. So if you see this, and this isn't a real expensive book, I mean, it went up to like $30, $40 in some of the bids and stuff on eBay, and I'm sure I don't do Whatnot, and I probably got to start looking at Whatnot, but I've seen this for like 5 to 10, and I picked it up for a little bit less than 5. So this is a kind of a, I would say, very low grade copy, but I just wanted to have it for the run filler. but if you see this out in the wild, I would pick this up because it's the only one in the entire run that had like a weird, hey, we got a guy on the cover that's not, you know, in the issue at all. So then we have number 8, Tony Isabella and Gil Kane. We have number 6, and I always love the cover of this book. So it's Tony Isabella and then John Romita Sr. And if you look at the face melting away to reveal the flaming skull, it's 70s slash horror slash goodness on the front there. I always liked how he drew the bike. Number 5, we have Doug Moore and Marv Wolfman on the plot, and this also is a John Romita Sr. We have number 4, which is Gary Friedrich and Gil Kane. And then that completes most of the run filler. So I'm going to give a shout out to Mon Comics, because Brandon actually sent me a nice little message in one of my videos that he looked at where I talked about Ghost Rider 1, and he said, you'll get it eventually, and, you know, keep on looking for it. So Ghost Rider 1 is ungodly expensive. Now, it's not the Marvel Spotlight 5 price, but in my budget, I can't spend more than $20, $30 a book, and that's even pushing it sometimes. So I got on eBay and I lost probably 10 auctions in the last 3 months because either I was working and the last minute my bid was done in by $1. So my frustration level was getting up there, but I didn't really want to buy more because I was looking at the lowest grade books possible. So I have the last book I need for this series. So what is it? It is Ghost Rider number 1. The first ongoing series, Gary Friedrich, Gil Kane cover. It's the first solo series, and this is the first cameo of Damian Hellstrom, son of Satan. So he appears in, like, I think it's 2 or 3 panels where he's kind of a shadow figure, and then Ghost Rider 2, which I put as like the biggest grail I'd had to that point. Now this one, it's the first time that I actually bought one that actually came in a top loader, which I kind of liked because I felt it protected a little bit. But when I pulled it out, and I did pull it out to read it, it is rough. And if you can see right there, I mean, the cover is almost detached. There's a flake right here that I actually pushed back so it could display a little bit better. The cover's ripped right around in this area. The back cover has a giant tear. It's complete. It's not missing anything, but it's I would say probably a 0.5 if I was going to grade it, maybe a 1. But just from displaying purposes and being able to hold this book in my hands, this was my grail. Now, would I love to have a Marvel Spotlight 1? Or Marvel Spotlight 5? You betcha. But I'm never going to pull the trigger on one of those. Even if I found one for $1,000, I'm never going to waste the money on that. I shouldn't say waste the money, but it's something that I'm not going to be reading it. I have 10, which is a reprint of the story. I have the 90s original Ghost Rider, which is a reprint of the story. I have the giant trade that I've read the story. I mean, I've read that story multiple times. So what is next for my collecting? Now, the 3 main characters I collect are Ghost Rider, Punisher, and Wolverine. And I have rarely made a dent in Wolverine. He had so many different issues and series and ongoing titles and that kind of thing, and they have the new one coming out. So I probably am just going to keep on grabbing filler, but Wolverine, I'm not going to try to complete the run. So I have the Punisher from 1987 with the 4/5 issue miniseries. I have all of those. I have the first War Journal. I have the first War Zone. First War Zone I have signed by Carl Potts at Terrificon 2 years ago. And those I need to kind of fill in, but that's kind of, you can find most of those in the hunting journey kind of thing, so that's what I'm going to be hunting for. So I also have a extensive Captain America collection that I was picking up back in the day that I kind of gave up on because, again, there was just so many titles, so I need to fill in that. And Iron Man. I have a lot of Iron Man. I have a lot of early 70s. I have maybe a couple Silver Age, and I want to do a video on that as well. But it's one of those things that I've completed the journey. Now, there's going to be ongoing Ghost Rider titles coming up in December, I think it is. They're going to have Spirits of Vengeance, and it looks like it's going to be Danny Ketch and Johnny Blaze again. The Midnight Suns just came out maybe a year or two ago, and I just got those to read. Anything that ever comes out with Cosmic Ghost Rider, I'm going to be reading that and picking that up. But I'm probably going to concentrate on just making sure I have my pull list so that I can get those in. And then I'm going to probably, when I start diving, I'm going to kind of back off on what I'm buying. Because one, my wallet can't afford it. And after splurging for a couple of these, now my Ghost Rider 1 was not anywhere near an overly priced book. In its condition, it was a little more than I wanted to spend, but it was well shipped. It came from the seller. Seller was in Canada, so it was, I have it. And Brandon from Mon Comics, and I recommend that channel. I recommend a lot of the other channels that I want to give shouts out to. Haul Yeah and Lettuce Comics, Lunch Money Comics. Those are just, you really have to know the community to appreciate what those guys are doing. But I have it. I've completed the run. So it's over. Now, does that mean I'm going to stop collecting comics? Absolutely not. But does it mean that I'm going to spend the hours on eBay or searching or whatever? And my plan is that there will be some time I will find that in a better condition where I can get it. And maybe this just becomes a display book. I want to get a couple I need to buy some comic capsules anyway. I am not even interested in trying to send that to CGC because, like I said, it's a 0.5. I would actually contact Jeff from Comic Spot. I've seen him work miracles. There's no miracles to be worked on that book. It is what it is. But from the grand standpoint of, is it complete? Yes. Is any of the pages missing, or is there actually cover pieces missing? They're actually all there. They're just kind of bent over. You know, the staples are attached, the book's together, but the cover is kind of loose. So I've read this once, other than this coming out and maybe going in a better bag and board and then getting put into a comic slab that I never touch. It's about what I've got. So, but I'm probably going to try to come up with some video ideas. So if you like this content and you've stuck around to the end to see what we got here, please like, comment, subscribe. I'm thinking that since I've been going through like the books that are like most important to me, or the characters and the runs that I have, I really kind of want to do some of the obscure things. So Haul Yeah Comics, basically we were kind of chatting back and forth on one of the comments on his video, and he's like, I'd like to see your short box video, because I have kind of an eclectic mix that I kind of pick up either from Free Comic Book Day or just things I find in like the 50-cent bin, dollar bin, that kind of thing. So I may do a video on that. If somebody wants to watch that, that would be great. I've found that these videos do not necessarily get great views. I do really well with shorts. I do really well with shorter videos. So, but if anyone wants to comment what they would like to see, Like I said, I have a Punisher run. I've got some killer Iron Man books that I might do a video on later on. I've got, I've shown most of the Wolverine important ones, but I have a hodgepodge of everything kind of thing. I do have some obscure Ghost Rider, like stories and arcs and that kind of thing too. But we'll see where the comic collecting journey takes us. So I hope everyone has a safe evening / morning. If you're going to work or you're coming home from work, you get to enjoy, and I'm hoping you enjoyed this content. And we'll see you later.